Welcome to altruisticcurrent.ca. Hi, my name's Benevolent. Welcome to the first Altruistic Current podcast. So, what's this thing about? Well, it's certainly not about me. It's about my guests and the cool projects they're working on in the city. Why would you listen to this podcast? Maybe you want to learn about a project before you volunteer with them. Or maybe you have your own project that you want to share. Our first guest is Matt Scott. He works on an amazing project called Supper with Strangers. Hey Matt, can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Yeah, okay. Well, Supper with Strangers. Me and a friend named Brittany started it about 3-ish years ago. And we get a bunch of people together. Like, it used to just be friends, but now, like, we still have strangers that come, and we gather them up and we go out into the streets to do something practical. We ask people that are asking for money and ask them if they would like to go out for a meal to see if they, like, just to talk to them like a family would. They sit down with a meal and just have a conversation with them, ask them how their lives are, tell them about our lives, and, try to create a friendship that's going on.
That's great. So tell me a little bit more about the program. So you go out on Saturday nights,
Yep.
The first Saturday of every month.
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday of every month.
One, yeah.
All right. And so how does a day go? How does an event go? From start to finish?
Okay, let's do a play-by-play here.
Yeah.
So we send out an invite, and it's an open invite, so anybody can invite anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then we say that we're all going to meet on the corner of Spring Garden, South Park, and usually around 9:30, and we'll wait for a half hour. Whoever shows up is more than welcome to join us. And then around 10 o'clock, we start heading out, and we give people a briefing about what to expect in street-involved people, and what kind of things that you should maybe avoid, what kind of conversations, what ones that are like great to talk about. And we split up into groups, and we literally just walk out into the streets. We see who's around, if anybody would like to come out for a meal with us.
Mm-hmm.
Paid for by us, like everything. Like, we just want to talk to them, we just want to get to know them a little bit more. And yeah, and then a lot of times the people that we're asking are asking for money, and this is like their main form of income, is asking on the streets, so they can't always leave, so sometimes we have to go get food and then bring it back.
And you've been doing it for 3 years, you're saying? Right?
Yeah, around there.
Have you noticed that you have made friends or any relationships like that? That's sort of the main purpose of this, is to sort of break the stigma between, of being homeless or being on the streets or panhandling. Have you found you've made friends as you walk by the street? You recognize people?
Yeah, you can walk down Spring Garden at any time, and you'll pretty much see people that you recognize everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes people have different, like, they do different shifts during the day, so you don't always see the same people, but like you still recognize them, and you're comfortable enough to go up and talk to them again and ask them how their day has been going so far, and it's not like awkward or anything. And like, that Matt's over there, that Ray could be over there and stuff like that. It's awesome to have that comfortable feeling as you're just walking through.
So yeah, I'm a little biased. I've been on a couple trips, probably a few, maybe a couple years ago, when you guys just first started.
Yeah, it's been great too.
Yeah, and it's been it was a very great experience. I remember, there's a couple. I think his name was Snowman, I believe, or I think that was his nickname.
Yeah.
And he showed us the back entrance into the mall. He's like, this door is always open. You can go have a meal in here. We had a couple burgers from what used to be, I think, Flip Burger. I don't think it exists anymore. Yeah. And I still see him on the streets every once in a while, so a little nod and a hi.
It's so great. That's one of the great parts of it. It's back and forth. Like, it's not just like like people always hear about this and they say like it's great of you to be talking with them or whatever, but it's really like them talking to us. Like they have so much to teach us and we have so much to learn.
So what would you say the overall mission or purpose of Supper with Strangers is?
The overall mission, I think like big picture. So like I would love, like there's a really negative stigma against homelessness really everywhere in the world, and I would love not only for that to end, but also a big thing is to just tell people and get people more comfortable into going to talk with people that they may not normally talk to, and really try to have an impact in their life and be friends with like everyone that they see, because like you can make someone's day just by being a stranger in someone's life. And so to get people more comfortable with just getting outside their comfort zone, I would love that.
For me, it was a challenge to, strike up that conversation at first, right? And I think there's a little bit of skepticism from them, because this was early days when we were doing it, and they're like, "What do you want to do? Why would you do that? Why would you want to?" Yeah, and I think it comes from maybe from both sides too, right? Have you come across many stories where people were very resistant to that, like not from the Supper with Strangers side, but from the people that you're trying to help? Was there any resistance?
Yeah, there's definitely some natural like resistance. Some people, we haven't had like any like aggressiveness or anything like that. We've only really had like people that just kind of shy away, like they say like, no, it's okay, like we're fine, but then like the next day, like, or the next event, we'll try again. Or if we see them on the street like a week later, we'll say, hey, how's it going? Like we met like a week ago, I just want to know how you've been doing. And eventually they start to come around and they start to realize that like this is like, we're trying to be genuine, like we're really, we're not looking for anything, we just want to know we genuinely just want to know how your day has been.
I think the other part, and maybe this is more of the fear of being in the project, was I was trying to bring a couple friends along, and they said, "Oh, isn't that dangerous?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it dangerous to go to do that?" And how do you combat that, the potential danger? What do you guys do to sort of keep everybody safe?
We try to, like, when we set up our groups, they're usually groups of like 2, 3, maybe 4, and we always make sure that there's a guy there, just as a presence, and like usually that's just for our volunteers to keep like, just to make like, that's more peace of mind.
Yeah.
Really what it is. We've never had an issue. We don't think that we will. But you never really know with strangers, like in any sense of the word. But yeah, there is a lot of trust that goes into it. And Brittany's actually very good at this. She come across a lady that we thought was being sex trafficked, and we didn't really know what to do. We've never dealt with that before. We're really just taking stuff as it comes. Like, and but since then, Brittany's been like on the ball. She's been like, if this happens again, like she's done a lot of research. She's like asked a lot of people around the city that are very knowledgeable about the subject, and so it's definitely a two-way street.
Back to the trust thing, right. I think that's where the genuineness has to come from too, right? Yeah. Like, so if you have some reservation, or if you're approaching someone and they notice you're scared or you're a little weird or a little off, that's going to put them off too, right? Yeah. So I think you're right. It has to come from trust and genuine, like willing to help from your side, right? Yeah. And that may help disarm or even like help that relationship form right away.
And it's definitely not going to happen like right away. Like we don't expect that. But over
maybe
time,
month 2 or month 3 or month 4. That if you keep coming back every Saturday, every month, right?
Yeah. That's it. Like every relationship is work. Like we fully expect that. Like even like your friendships, like you really have to like make time for your day to like go see them. Like you have to make time to do something thoughtful for them. Yeah. Like all that stuff. It's the same thing with like this as well.
Exactly. After 3 years, you guys haven't had an incident, right? I think that's the other important piece, that that's an indicator of how safe or how
much trust
there is in that relationship, and how people haven't abused or done anything to defy that trust. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, we've been very fortunate. It's been an awesome experience so far.
So I'm going to ask you, do you have one story that stands out to you in your work, or say an interaction with somebody, or one you've heard from the sort of the what do you call it? Is it a debrief kind of thing at the very end? Like, is there anything that has really stuck with you that you'd like to share with people?
So as you were saying, we usually have a debrief, and people share like a lot of stories that happen. And one that stuck out was one of our volunteers that comes every time. He's so passionate about this, and I love it because he makes everyone else passionate around him. His name's Harvey, and we went over to the Godgen Street mission, and we were talking to this man, I won't say his name, but we were talking to him, and he was talking to him pretty much all night.
Yeah.
And you could see that they were getting on a deeper level conversation. And Harvey was able to figure out a way to practically help this man, like, get into rehab to, like, and he was texting him while he was there. He was asking, like, how he's been through the whole process, and he puts a lot of credit towards Harvey for that. And that's one of the really practical stories that I love to share. And Harvey's so good, and I haven't heard much about the man that we're talking about in a while, but I'm sure Harvey has.
Yeah, so we're still in touch, in contact in some way. Yeah,
I hope so. That is the point, though, but, like, to get some real practical, like, use of the relationships that we're doing on both ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask, how can people get involved? That's the other piece. I think, there's definitely people out there that are,
Oh, yeah.
could hire that. How do they get involved with, Supper of Strangers?
Oh, man, if you're listening to this and you want to come out, I love you. And you should. Yeah, so come out. We have a Facebook page, Supper of Strangers. We are very... we're not very, like, we don't have a website, like, we don't have, like, I have an email. You can use my email if you want, but, like, Supper of Strangers, that's where we send out the invites. You can invite anyone you want. Anyone and everybody is welcome. Typically, most of the people that come out are, like, in university or, like, just a little bit past it, but literally we've had all age groups come out, and we love having everyone out. Everyone can bring a different experience, and if you're thinking that this is not for you, I would love to prove you otherwise.
Yeah, just go and try it once.
Please.
You will. Yeah, there's there's definitely the nervousness you feel, right? And that's in that first time. But after I did it the first time, I was recruiting people. Like, I was recruiting people, and I'm like, you just gotta try it once, and it'll change it. It'll change that perception.
We'll
right?
pay for your meal. It's a free meal.
Yeah. So that's the other part. Yeah. So you don't have to. It's not out of your pocket. It can be if you want to. But the Supper of Strangers will reimburse you for the meal.
We've been very fortunate to have people that come alongside us and donate for every single event.
Yeah, which is really great.
Yeah, we've been very lucky because I know that there's a lot of other like movements that are going out there and trying to do something similar, but they haven't had the same financial support. And so I consider ourselves very lucky to be able to have that.
So we have a thing called the social good call out. In this, the premise of this sort of end of wrap up thing is to get people sort of like the ice bucket challenge is how I imagine it. So Matt's gonna say out a name or group of people, right? We're gonna tag them in this video, and the idea is that they're gonna share their project or they're gonna come onto the podcast eventually. And if they don't want to, they're gonna have to donate $50 towards a charity of Matt's choice. So, Matt, have you thought of somebody that is really awesome in the community doing really cool stuff, or a group of people that you think would be
definitely a
awesome?
Group of people.
All right.
The Gaudin Street Salvation Army.
Yeah. Is there anyone in particular there that you know, or just in general, just call them out and then see if they have a representative that wants to come and talk about the great work they're doing in the community?
Every time I go there, it seems like they have new people working. So I've been going through a lot of names.
Okay.
But,
no worries. Yeah, we'll reach out to them. And they may have somebody that would be interested in sharing their project in the story. Because I live right around the corner from there, so I always see the work.
They're always all the workers are so great. Every time I go in there, everyone's super energetic. They're super happy, and it seems like all the men that are there, like, really, like, they really care about them. It's awesome to see. That's
great. And so, if the Salvation Army, this large group of people, did not want to participate, where would you want them to donate money towards? What charity of choice?
I want them to donate to themselves.
All right.
Salvation Army, Gaudin Street.
All right. So $50 will go to the Salvation Army. We'll figure out the logistics eventually on that part. But yeah, that's great. I'd like to thank you, Matt. And thank Brittany, who can't be here, but I know she's a partner in this project. It's been really great talking to you. Thank you
so much
for participating in the first round of the ALTC or Altruistic Current project.
I love it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Now, 1 second. I'm just gonna double check.
Sure.
See if we started.
We uncalibrated.
We uncalibrated, and we might have not even been recording. That's just a warm-up, man.
It's all out.
Man.
It's all out now.
That's funny.